Happy New Year, Spider Nation. This is Spider-Man's Tangled WebShow, back for our first episode of 2017. I'm Jonathan, webmaster of SpiderManFanRave.com, and joining me tonight is James. What's going on, James? How's that food that you're eating there, James? He's not responding. You know what? His family raised him well. He's not talking with food in his mouth. That is a sign of good parenting.
No, I'm trying to keep the rage down.
Yes. In this first episode of 2017, it's going to be a little bit awkward because remember like 3 weeks ago when we did our big 2016 recap and we said goodbye to that year and kind of stuck a little bit of a middle finger up at it. Well, we have to revisit it one more time because there was one comic that came out after we went on our break that we have to revisit 2016 one more time. I'm so sorry. But here's the thing. I've been promised, based on our pre-show discussion, I've been promised that I will enjoy this recap. And I'm sure all of our viewers and listeners will as well. Because this is going to be another installment of James ranting. Or, as I like to call it, James just hates life.
No, not James hates life. I love life.
Yes, because James...
I love life. This is James, I fucking hate Dan Slott post Brand New Day.
James, but before we get into it, James, how was your holiday break? We've been off the air for 3 weeks. How was life for you, sir?
Going back to my happy place, talking about the holidays. It was fine. It was fine. I got a lot of stuff I wanted, and I gave people a lot of stuff they wanted. It's that whole holiday thing of giving and taking, I got Suicide Squad, the extended edition. Okay, DC, adding one fucking scene in there does not count as an extended edition. Wanted to put that out there.
That's called a Blu-ray special feature?
That's called, there's 30 minutes of deleted scenes of the Joker actually acting like the fucking Joker and not a lovesick puppet for Harley Quinn. And you only take 5 minutes of that to put that back in the movie. See? He's still an asshole to her. He's ignoring her in a car.
So James had
This is the guy who pushed her into a pile of hyena shit in a cartoon. But whatever. Yeah, but this is the worst thing he can do in the movie. The cartoon got away with him literally pushing her off a building, but whatever. But yeah, I got Suicide Squad on Blu-ray. I got a few other Blu-rays. I got Ant-Man, because I didn't get Ant-Man yet to my collection for MCU movies, so I finally got that for my brother. So, got Ant-Man. Yay, Ant-Man.
That's about as much enthusiasm as anyone ever shows that character.
Okay, yay because it's Scott Lang's Ant-Man. If it was just a whole movie of Hank Pym's Ant-Man, it would be like, I'll pass on that for now. But I also got some video games I needed, like I got WWE 2K17, and I got Madden, my aunt. So that's awesome. Very much I got that. Oh, and I got these little things for my mom and dad. I got all 5 of them, but I don't want to take them all off the stand right now. I got the Core 5 Ninja Steel Rangers, so it's time for the premiere in 2 weeks.
I was just going to ask you when Ninja Steel comes out. Oh,
January 21st.
James, how about that Dino Charge finale, huh?
Whatever, I'm moving on. John, it's a new season of Power Rangers. I'm moving on. I'm in the realm of every fan guts. Yeah, the last season finale really fucking sucked. But let's all get psyched up for Ninja Steel. That's the one fun thing about being a Power Rangers fan. Every year it reinvents itself. So if something was shit, you can still look forward to something. Unlike Endless Run of Dan Slott.
All right.
Like I said, I'll get to that because I'm still talking about my holidays. That was just Christmas. Then we get to New Year's, which was the best time of my life. I went out with if you follow my Facebook and my Twitter account, you saw that I went out with my 4 best friends in the whole wide world that live in town because my other best friend in the whole wide world is currently serving us in, the Air Force. So, but he was there in spirit because I was Skyping him. So, there you go, bro. So me, Nick, Kyle, Trevor, we went to Whitewater, Wisconsin, which is a little small town about an hour away from here, which is a big college town. if you're a college football fan, you will know that they won a national title a couple times in their division. Really big part, like literally their whole main street is nothing but 4 or 5 blocks of bars. So with Cody, the brother of our friend Kyle, we just went bar hopping all night. We had drinks. I'm not gonna lie, I had a couple beers, shot of whiskey, a couple Long Islands, and I still didn't get wasted. I got buzzed, and I was singing a lot of songs in the car, but I wasn't drunk. I was just buzzed. Especially not compared to Nick, who was vomiting in the parking lot.
Oh, God.
Trust me, if you know Nick, that's not the worst thing he ever did it with a car in the parking lot when he was drunk.
Oh,
and
God.
I'll just stop it right there. I don't want to embarrass him if he watches this. Or frighten away any viewers we might have.
Okay.
So yeah, we had that. We danced. I added a couple girls on Facebook that I met there because we were dancing together and they were really fucking hot. And in case any of you guys are watching this, because I was bragging about me being on a podcast, hello. Thank you.
You were bragging about being on a podcast, James. That's amazing.
They asked me what did I do for my hobbies. I'm like, I like to play the drums. I like drawing. I'd like to give photographs, cooking because I'm a chef. I also do a podcast. Oh, what's it about? Spider-Man. Oh, that's so cool. Blah, blah. Spider-Man's cool. Yeah, Spider-Man is awesome. Yeah.
Hello, people.
How you doing?
Hello, people James met who probably aren't watching this, but I'll say hello to them anyways, even though they have no idea who I am. All right, James. But
So yeah, I had a fun time. I had the best way you could say goodbye to probably one of the worst years in human history. And that was by drinking with some good friends and meeting some nice women and dancing with them. What could be more better than that? Says probably John, who was probably alone crying in his room because he hates his life because he had to read a comic book by Dan Slott.
No, that is actually...
And I was smart enough to wait till fucking the day to read this.
No, thank God that was not how I spent my New Year's, but no. As for my holiday was fantastic.
Christmas.
I don't know what he just said there because he was talking with food in his mouth, but yeah, my holiday was actually pretty fantastic. I spent it with family.
I didn't say anything. John, I was just coughing.
I spent it with family in Missouri, I spent it with family way out in James's time zone. James and I were actually in the same time zone for about a week, so that was actually I thought about that at one point during my vacation.
Wow, John, you get the... Ooh, John, what a great holiday you had. I danced with hot chicks while getting drunk. You got to be in the same time zone as somebody. Ooh.
It was just a little fun fact that I noticed, but yes, I spent the holiday with my family, and it was very enjoyable. But here's the thing.
I got family in Missouri too, so I'm not going to make fun of it because I got family in Missouri too. Hey, Uncle Art, even though you're not watching this.
Yes, none of my family even knows about this podcast, so hello, people who aren't watching this podcast. But yes, but all good things must come to an end. That is one of the most depressing parts about life, because this,
Go back.
For God's sake, Amazing Spider-Man Volume 4, number 22, a Clone Conspiracy tie-in. The Jackal, Anubis, Ben Reilly, whoever he is on the cover with Spider-Man, with all these other characters who I don't feel like listing off because there's too many of them. Oh, we have to revisit 2016 just one more time because we have to talk about this comic that came out a few weeks ago. We know other people have already talked about it because we know we're late to the party because we took a holiday break, but hey, we have lives, so sorry.
No, I think every other Spider-Man related podcast also took a break or something. So I think we're actually beating them to the punch in a weird way.
Well, I was just talking about the internet in general, having already discussed this thoroughly, but okay. We'll hit 2016 one more time, and then I'm gonna please ask it to go away and just never come back again. Don't let the door hit it on the way out. Amazing Spider-Man Volume 4, number 22. Titled Seeing Red. Dan Slott and Christos Gage, writers. Giuseppe Camuncoli, penciler. Cam Smith is the inker. Jason Keith is the colorist. VC's Joe Caramagna is the letterer. Alex Ross is the cover artist. Allison Stock is the assistant editor. Devin Lewis is the associate editor. And Nick Lowe is the editor. Nick Lowe also just got a promotion at Marvel. He's like part of their vice president of their like digital content branch or something. He just got a promotion, so congratulations, good sir. That's a
Every Spider-Man editor gets a promotion. You notice that? Because isn't Wacker like one of the big producers of the animated division for cartoons now?
I know. I knew he was working over there. I didn't know. I don't know what position he's in though.
He's one of the producers. Like he's right below Nick Loeb. I mean, he's right below Jeff Loeb.
Wow, that's. But
it's like Jeff Loeb like runs it, but he runs the whole Marvel TV division. So actually, Wacker's the one who's doing the cartoons. It's just Loeb's the one who's like the higher up above him. Like checks in and says, "You're good."
Are you putting something out? Okay, that works for me. I'm gonna go over here with the good MCU Netflix stuff and deal with this stuff. You deal with the cartoons that no one cares about. But so James requested to tackle this issue. And so he's going to be the one to deliver the recap. And I feel like I'm going to enjoy this because this is another installment in the series of James Hates Life. So James,
this comic begins where any good comic should begin. Batman is meeting Catwoman up on a rooftop to tell her he's taking her in, and they're about to bone. Yes, I said good comic because I'm talking about a Batman one. If you want me to find out how every bad comic should begin, let me tell you. Peter, it's following the trend of all the Amazing Spider-Man issues with the tie-ins. We are literally left right where we left off. And what do you know? Peter Parker is about to beat the shit out of Ben Reilly because he doesn't fall for the shit. I'm getting tired of Dan Slott doing this right now. Okay, you doing the cliffhanger at the end of, oh my god, it's you. Dun, dun, dun. No, I don't believe you. You're a clone. The thing he should do right away at the ending of the previous issue, no, you gotta have that cliffhanger so Peter doesn't do that to the next fucking comic. So Peter's actually having a brain here, and he's gonna beat the fuck out of this guy. And then Ben's like, yeah, it's me. I dug up your uncle, and we're gonna bring him back to life. And then Peter's like, dude, that's fucked up. And coming from a guy who told Dr. Octopus, dude, that's fucked up. Dude, that's fucked up. And he's all like, no, you should know that's sick. Ben Reilly would never do that. And I love his comeback. Ben Reilly would never do that, but I did. No punchline. It's just, Ben wouldn't do that. I did.
Shit. How can I argue with logic like that?
That doesn't prove that you're the real Ben Reilly. It's like, John, I'm Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons wouldn't do that, but I did. Good point. You are clearly Gene Simmons. See, I proved on. I know this is comic books with Clark Kent in the glasses, but
this is the same universe where Matt Murdock goes around. He just puts on a devil suit. He doesn't change his voice at all, except for maybe going like, "I'm the devil of Hell's Kitchen," instead of, "My name is Matt Murdock." All he does is, "I'm the devil of Hell's Kitchen," and people can't figure it out. All right, it's like this is that universe.
And then Peter's like, you desecrated Uncle Ben's grave, and he's like, but I did it to bring him back. Again, sound logic from him here. He's clearly not insane.
This is totally, the makings of someone who does not need to see a shrink at all.
You desecrated a grave, but I did it to bring him back. 'Cause I did.
Because I'm Ben Reilly.
You know how John sponsors pure Alka Spring water? Well, I'm sponsoring Miller Lite tonight.
If either one of them want to be our sponsor.
No, Miller Lite doesn't want to be our sponsor because if you notice, I only drink when we're reading shitty comics.
Yeah, I guess I do notice that. But James, what happens?
And then here we go. Peter goes in. Oh, but how can you be the Jackal? And then we got the most goddamn laziest Star Wars reference from Ben Reilly since the previous fucking issue of Clone Conspiracy. Oh, it's a voice modulator. I can do Miles Warren and James Earl Jones. Does that mean that just for kicks, Ben Reilly's been going up to like clones of Marla Madison and clones of Gwen Stacy and going, Luke, I am your father. Like, or is he going, Simba, I am your father, Mufasa. This is CNN. This is the blind guy from the Sandlot movies.
And they're just like, hey, it's Miles Warren. He's kind of nuts. Whatever.
I love how I just went through like the whole like James Earl Jones film catalog right there.
Speaking of Star Wars, R.I.P. Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds.
Well, it's not a thumbs up. It's a thumbs up out of respect, not that I'm happy they're gone, because I'm not. Oh, and also during the break, I saw Rogue One again. I literally saw it again a week before she died. Kind of spooky.
All right, James.
All right. But so, anyways, back to this comic. Let's get off this depressing talk about people dying with even more depressing talk.
I don't know how to respond to that.
And then, I mean, the comic is bad, John. I'm not saying it's more depressing than people dying. I said it as a joke.
I'm kidding. Just ignore me, James.
And then Peter goes, I'm not talking about this fucking dumbass. I'm talking about the fact that you kind of, in this comic right here that's actually good, kind of turned the dust in my arms. Yeah, how did you do that magic trick? And then Ben's like, it's pretty simple. I died 27 times doing that. But you want to know the first time, right?
I don't know, do we?
And then we get a panel which is actually pretty cool. It's a redrawing of Romita Jr. art of when the clone degenerated in Peter's arms. And then Ben goes from the beginning. And when I mean the beginning, I mean Amazing fucking Fantasy 15.
Wait, James, I don't know what happens in Amazing Fantasy 15. I don't know what happens there. It's not like that story.
Get ready to jerk off to more continuity porn from Dan Slott. As we got now the panel of Uncle Ben, we talked about don't fatten him up too much, man, with your weak kicks. I can hardly wrestle him myself. We got that panel. We got the panel of him getting bit. Then we get the cover to Amazing Spider-Man 13 Volume 1 because fuck it. Then we got the panel where Peter and Betty from issue 4, I think it is, when he first meets her, because that's really convenient because Ben needs to remind Peter who Betty Brant and J. Jonah Jameson are.
Well, yeah, they're not in the supporting cast anymore. He's kind of forgotten about them.
Then we time skip to the Romita eras. We see the coffee being sung as we got groovy Flash Thompson coming back for Nam while Peter and Gwen are going ready for a date while Mary Jane is go-go dancing in the corner with Harry, Dad. Wasn't they so hip and groovy, man? And then we go back in time as we go back to Ditko when all these characters fucking hated each other. And then only to go now to newer art of because they never showed this, of Peter and Gwen giving their blood sample. Then we go to, again, pages from the back issues of the first Judas Traveler story where they did like this kind of back that was a retelling the Clone Saga. So we get that fucking panel. Then we get the fucking cover to, what was it, like
ASM 149.
Whatever. 149. We get the cover to that. All the way down to the Ben Reilly Spider-Man costume and the cover being a little bit darker than the actual Spider-Man costume. Then we get probably one of the most biggest sins in the fucking comics. In the original Clone Saga, back during Lost Years. Ben finds out that he is the clone. No, actually, I think it's actually the the back issue to the First Year Traveler story. But Ben finds out he's the clone by going into Peter's apartment, crawling on the window, getting ready to go in, to resume his normal life, only to see Peter and MJ literally seconds away from getting it on for the first time. And then that makes him realize, okay, this one loves Mary Jane. He's obviously the original. I'm the clone! As lightning strikes and all that stuff. Which I still found funny in the original Clone Saga when I read that. The fact that Peter and Mary Jane don't hear the random, I'm a clone! Right there, so close to the window when they're about to bang. With Spider-Man in the window like this. And they're like, literally, they're like right here, and there's the, like, they're as close as I am to that window. And then here he is, I'm the clone! With lightning. Yeah, that classic panel that sums up Ben Reilly right then and there and shows Peter and MJ in one of the most beautiful moments they probably ever had together, the first time they were with each other. Let's replace that and say it was Peter kissing Aunt May because one more day. The first time he was with Mary Jane and Ben realizes that he's the clone, again, I repeat, is replaced with Peter kissing his aunt.
I can tell James.
I don't know if it's coming off on the Skype, but I'm shaking.
James,
then, repeat after me, because I want to say there's a lot in these flashbacks coming up. Then we get a fucking cover. What is this, the fourth time already we got a cover as a flashback?
Yeah, I think it's the third time.
Oh, the fourth time's coming up. Sorry. And then Ben reminds us that he went through his Lost Years with a fucking cover of the Lost Years. And then we get a panel from the fucking non-continuity, the real Clone Saga that was written by Mackie and DeFalco and all that a few years ago. We get a panel from that. Then we get Peter. Then we get Ben where after he dyed his hair and he's at the daily grind. He's with his supporting cast. And then you got fucking what's her name, Janine from Lost Years, who's randomly in the room now, even though she was fucking never there during Ben Reilly's time as Spider-Man. She's somebody who's from his past in the Lost Years, but let's throw her in there in the background staring at Ben because fuck it. And then repeat after me. We get a cover. Sensational Spider-Man number 0's holographic cover. Remember when Ben Reilly's Spider-Man stood in front of a holographic spiderweb?
No, James, I don't remember that. Not ever happening.
And then we get the ending of Revelations as he gets Goblin by the Goblin Collider, and then disintegrates in Peter's arms. He was literally just dying in his arms tonight. I don't know how the rest of the song goes, but fuck it. I'm going to make as much dumb pop culture references as Dan Slott does. And then you got, the whole, you're the clone. And in the original comic, Spider-Man just jumped right down to fight the Green Goblin because, all that... He was swinged, he was fighting the Green Goblin. They threw the bomb at him. He came back, Ben disintegrated. And then Peter spread his ashes before going to be with Mary Jane in her time of need after they lost their child. Well, according to this, just forget the fact that Peter, spread the ashes. No. He just web swinged away because, that was a weird day, I guess. Nothing else happened in my life that way. Not so much my, in this continuity, girlfriend losing our baby. And then Miles Warren shows up and then sees the dust and goes, well, who's going to fucking clean this mess? I guess I will. So he takes a sample. And then it turns out that we are not just dealing with a clone of a clone. We're dealing with a clone of a clone times 25.
Oh my god. This is where the comic just... This is where it just gets absolutely nuts.
Oh, you mean it gets nuts after flashbacks?
No, James.
You mean the only good part of this comic, John, is flashbacks to fucking covers?
No, James, because we're not done with flashbacks yet, remember? Because we have to
yeah. And then Warren does the whole, he was the original MU shit. And then he's all like, you degenerated because you were the clone, Ben, but I brought you back. Which is completely unlike what Warren would have done. He would have just brought him back and said you went unconscious and you didn't disintegrate, so that way Ben can still think he's the original. But no, he's like, no, I brought you back from the dead. So, zap, and then literally we get every goddamn flashback we already had in one panel. Do you want to know how fucking lazy a comic can be? Not only do they show you one whole panel of the same flashbacks you already had, but they're telling you, look it, we wasted 5 pages of your life because we could have all thrown it all on one page. You're welcome. And then as this is going on, Warren's just continuing the same shit he did back in that backup to the Judas Traveler arc. The whole, I'm going to torture Ben Reilly because it's fun to torture my clone because I'm an evil mad scientist. And then Ben finally fucking snaps as he gets the floating heads of guilt, which I do love that there is a little bit of continuity here that Harry's a floating head of guilt. Because remember, Harry was dead at this time.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Yay, actual continuity. And Betty's there too, which makes sense because Betty and Ben started the date right when Revelation started. So of course his thoughts will be going to his girlfriend. So some actual pretty cool continuity. Too bad the other thing was just throw a random fucking cover there. So yeah, Warren keeps on doing it, and then Ben Reilly has one of the most and you basically see all the ways that Warren has killed him, like setting him on fire, giving him disease, freezing him, electrocution. And then by the 27th time, Ben's like, stop! Ben says what Ben used to say a lot during the Clone Saga. Why don't you just kill me? Literally, like that was Ben's catchphrase pretty much. Ben was very suicidal back in the 90s. So yeah. And then Jackal is going, oh yeah, I'm going to let you die, and then I'm going to bring you back and let you die some more, because smoke and mirrors. Because, you know, it's Jackal. And then so Ben finally then fucking freaks the fuck out and murders the original Warren.
Well, he doesn't murder him, but he basically, like, goes one step away from it.
John, the next time we see Warren, he put him in the new U machine. And brought him back to life. Killed him.
But he said he didn't, though. At the bottom of this page, he said he didn't do that. He said that there is a real Miles Warren there, but he's not going to tell them which one it is.
I took it as it's technically not murder if I brought the guy back alive right away.
No, he said he didn't do it at all, but whatever.
Well, yeah, so you set up the whole fact that, you know, the Warren doesn't know which one is Warren and blah, 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 smoke and mirrors. And then you got him walking through the room and then just accepts being the Jackal. The Ben Reilly from the fucking 90s wouldn't do this. He has a smile while Warren clones are dressing him like the fucking Jackal.
James, does this page look like something 90s Ben Reilly would do?
No! And then he says, I'm here, I'm real, get used to it. And then he says, Peter, will you join me? And Peter says, you know what? You just told me a story, and going back to the whole 90s Clone Saga, there was a very much who do you trust, and just because you look like me and you say you're Ben, you could be Spider-Side, you could be another clone, you could be Jackal in a body of mine that has happened before to me just recently with somebody in my body. So it wouldn't be far-fetched to believe that Jackal put his mind in a you. So I'm not gonna believe anything until I got some fucking proof. More than just you telling me and saying I did. But no, that's actually a well-written Peter Parker. This one's like, okay.
Doy.
And then we got a preview for the next issue, which is a fucking cover that was already done during the Clone Saga, but we're doing it again because I guess we got to tell, hey, Peter's gonna bang Gwen because we need to get that out of our system because we've been wanting to do that since the 70s when she died.
So James, you loved it, huh?
Where's my beer?
Oh man, he's chugging it right now. This is getting rough, ladies and gentlemen. James, I take it you didn't like this issue very much. Is it worse than Clone Conspiracy number 3? Because you didn't like that either.
It's the continuation of that. So it's just part 2 of that story.
And that story...
It's the tie into that story, so I counted it as part of that story.
Oh, man.
I mean it, like the return of one of my favorite Spider-Man characters, and it's literally be careful what you wish for. It's the monkey paw. It's like, be careful what you wish for when Dan Slott writes Spider-Man.
So let's see. First, we've got Ben Reilly just acting completely out of character and providing no explanation for why he's doing what he's doing. We get some BS flashbacks. We get Jackal just being 90s.
You know what the sad thing is? You know what that reminds me of? Is when they did that in that annual, like number 36 or 35 or 36. What's the one that was like the Aunt May rehearsal dinner for her wedding to John?
Shit. I know it was like...
That was ironic enough called Who Was Ben Reilly?
I think it was like 2009 or something. It was around that time. I don't remember.
Well, it's right before 6. It was literally like the same week 600 happened. Because it was the rehearsal dinner before the wedding.
Yeah, I'm not remembering.
And Raptor showed up, remember?
I'm not remembering what number it was, but I know what you're talking about. It's just like... So we've got all this stuff in here. We've got a page of flashbacks that we already spent 5 pages on. We've got Ben Reilly...
And half of those are goddamn covers.
Apparently just going insane for, I'll admit, kind of an understandable reason. You know, when you get killed 27 times over, I can understand how that'd be a bit traumatic. But then you've got him just not being... then you've got him becoming a Jackal. And then Peter just accepts it.
He wouldn't do that. Even if it was traumatic, he would have ran the fuck away and would have went back to Peter.
And then Peter just goes along with it. Because...
And I want to remind you that supposedly all of these 27 times he's come back, this was all in the 90s. The Jackal, who did all that shit, you know, with Spider Island, that was Ben.
James, this is rough. Do you give it a thumbs up? A thumb sideways?
No.
A thumbs down?
No. Doesn't even deserve a thumb unless it's a thumb up the ass.
Okay, that should be your new catchphrase, James. But I give it a thumbs down.
I mean, seriously, I just look at next issue, and it's Peter about to make out with Gwen while she takes off his mask, and it's the most awkward. Oh,
look at his face. Look at his face.
He looks like it's hurting his nose. Her doing it. He's like, Gwen, stop, that hurts. Ow, stop.
Oh my God. What is this, James? What is this madness?
I'm like I said, when I see the cover to 23, I'm thinking I know what exactly is going to happen. Ben and Peter are going to break in to steal back the Gwen clone. And it's just proving my point. That, again, Spider-Man's not going to be the hero of his own book. As Prowler and Kane and Spider-Gwen are going to save the day. And Peter Parker is going to learn a lesson about not trusting fucking clones. A lesson he learned in the 90s.
And he also learned in the 70s.
Well, not really in the 70s, because it was kind of like, I fought a clone of mine. That was weird. Okay, time for my next zany issue. It wasn't until the 90s that it really got fucked up. It was just, wow, that was a weird weekend. Okay, anyways, next issue.
Oh my God. At least, here's the great part about 2017, James. At least this time, well, not this time next month, but 2 months from now, this will all be over. And we can just forget about it.
And then we're going to have the fucking death of Oscorp or whatever the fuck they're doing next.
The end of Parker Industries is coming, James. The end of Parker Industries.
Oh, do you mean when Norman Osborn is going to fucking take control of Peter's company and make it the new Oscorp?
And also,
that's what's going to happen.
And also because Mockingbird and S.H.I.E.L.D. are going to come back because no one demanded it.
Literally, no one demanded it because she had her own spin-off book. The thing that saved us from Mockingbird and Spider-Man on charisma, on chemistry relationship was the fact that they were giving her own ongoing. It already got fucking canceled, so Slott's going to throw her back in the book.
I'm not excited for that.
So it's literally the character nobody demanded because nobody read her fucking book. It's like, seriously. It's like when Cloak and Dagger, this time last year. These people can't support their own fucking book. Why do you think we want them to be the main character of a Spider-Man arc?
So we've got 2 more issues of Clone Conspiracy, plus 2 more tie-in issues. The end is in sight, ladies and gentlemen. We're not so close to being done, but we're over the top of the hill. We're on the downward descent right now.
John, where was this top of the hill? No, we were at ground zero, and we just been digging more. We think, nah, we can go further. So we just start digging ourselves more down.
I was going to say I failed to see how the book can get any worse than this, but I said that before, and I was proven...
you forgot. It's Dan Slott, and you still got 4 more issues.
And I was proven wrong, so, oh my god. 2017...
I just love it how the whole return of Ben Reilly, again, is predictable. It's literally, if you would have went to any message board between Ben Reilly dying and now, and you would have asked them, hey, how would you bring back Ben Reilly? 90% of it would be in this issue, minus, the 10% that's not the same being, the Clone Conspiracy tie and stuff. Like, bringing other people back from the dead and stuff like that. But the actual how he came back part is what I'm sure 90% of those people would have said.
I don't think they would have had him turn into the Jackal, though. That's not a good decision.
That's why I said 90%.
And it's just 2 weeks from now, we get Clone Conspiracy number 4. We have to read that.
I just love it how Warren already had a suit that fit Ben Reilly and had a voice modulator to make it sound like Warren was talking.
Why would Warren make a voice modulator for himself? That is a question that's worth asking.
You're never going to get an answer, John, so don't ask.
Was he not confident enough in his own voice that he knew?
John, don't ask, or he's going to tell you to go fuck yourself.
I feel like I already did when I read this comic, alright? So...
No, John, you don't feel like you just fucked yourself. Because at least if you got fucked, it would feel good.
Oh my god, it's just how are we going to make it through 4 more issues, James? How are we going to do this?
I not know, John.
How are we going to do this?
I'm drinking alcohol on this podcast, and it's still not easing the pain.
James has severe emotional trauma after reading this issue. He needs counseling now. He's going to have to go to a shrink tomorrow and say, "This comic ruined my life."
No shrink. Because the shrink will turn out to be Bart Hamilton, and he'll tell me about how he's got my shit.
And he would even Bart Hamilton would say, "Oh damn, that's not
some messed up shit.
That's not good."
No, John, we know exactly what he would say. He would say, "Give me more of my pill, please."
Oh yeah, because Bart Hamilton's back now. Oh yeah.
The only good thing that could come out of Bart Hamilton being back, we all know he's going to die because he's going to go zombie on us, is the weird panel of like when Norman comes back and he confronts Harry, and also Bart Hamilton comes from the window. I'm back, guys. What up, Bart Hamilton in this shithole?
And then Osborn just
and
throws.
then I'd be like, who the? And then and then Norman just like, 1 second, Harry. And he drops dead. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I killed your therapist. He's like, no, the guy was kind of a douchebag. I'm happy he's dead. Good. Hey, we actually found something we agree on. Yeah, we actually finally had a father-son bonding moment. Fucking wanting to kill Bart Hamilton. But then again, so did like 98% of the Earth's population. Who's the 2% who doesn't? Peter. Yes, Peter.
Oh my god, it's just like, how is it that we managed to find more joy in Bart Hamilton fan fiction than we do in this actual comic?
Because Bart Hamilton, Aidan Blaine,
the superior Aidan Blaine,
Swinger, the McSwinger or McSweeney or whatever the fuck he was.
Oh,
they're all better than stuff that Dan Slott actually has written.
Oh yeah, McSwinger from the Marvel Knights run. I still want to know that character's backstory.
McSwinger, rest in peace.
Yeah, I was gonna say all I know is that he died, which was really tragic. But, so James, we have a back issue.
I hate my life.
James, we have a back issue that we were going to talk about.
It's actually good.
Yeah, it is actually good, James. Viewers and listeners, are you ready to hear us do something other than bitch and moan for once? I am. I'm ready to stop whining. Damn, am I ready to stop whining?
Yeah, are you ready? Are you ready for the podcast that a year ago you used to say that we were the positive Spider-Man podcast and be proud of it? And now look at us where we're at, to the point that one of our co-hosts are drinking and the other one is having water and probably wishes he was drinking.
Oh my god, it's just... Alright. Amazing Spider-Man 505. Giving a little background into where Spider-Man is at this point. He's not in the clone conspiracy, so that makes it automatically better than what we're talking about. But
positive 5 stars.
James gives us a thumbs up already. But yeah, at this...
Do I say that because all a clone conspiracy gets, and this is a great homage to the Wrestling Observer, minus 5 stars. Now go on.
So Spider-Man, at this point, he's trying to figure out whether he's part of some mystic spider totem god stuff, and he's not quite sure if he's a product of science or religion. And at this point, he's also reconciled his marriage with Mary Jane. They've managed to get back together. They are still working out their issues, but they're working through it as a normal...
The arc before this, they finally banged.
They're working through it as a normal couple would at this point. And so Spider-Man, he's just dealing with, the average stuff that a Spider-Man does. And so as we move into Amazing Spider-Man 505, I'll just give the creative team rundown here real quick. We got J. Michael Straczynski as the writer, pencils John...
Better.
What?
I said better.
Oh.
I said better.
J. Michael Straczynski is the writer, pencils John Romita Jr., inks Scott Hanna.
Better.
Colors Matt Milla, letters VC's Corey Petit, cover art John Romita Jr., assistant editor Warren Simmons, editor Nick Lowe. So we move into Amazing 505.
Wait a second. Who was the editor, John?
Axel Alonso.
You said Nick Lowe.
Did I? Oh shit! I'm sorry. That's what happens when.
Because my joke was going to be better, and then we get to Axel, who's just continuing Quesada's point of view. I was going to go worse, but then no, you go to Nick Lowe. And I'm like, wow, John, you're so angry at Clone Conspiracy. You midway through reading the creative team, you literally got to Romita Jr. and then everybody else you named off is from modern Spider-Man. You know that, right?
I'm sorry. It's just that's what happens when I'm trying to think ahead while talking at the same time. Assistant editor Warren Simmons, editor Nick. Did it again.
You want me to just say it?
Editor Axel Alonso. For God's sake.
What's his name? What's his name, John? What's his name?
Axel Alonso.
Good.
For God's sake. Oh my God. I'm sorry. This is what happens when I'm not thinking. It's been a rough week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm the one who had the alcohol, ladies and gentlemen.
It's been a rough week in Ohio. I'm just gonna say that. 2017.
Well, anyways, John, just tell us who's in the taxi.
Peter and Mary Jane are in the taxi talking about vibes because the thing is, Mary Jane is off to an audition off in LA. And Peter's not really one who's very keen on goodbyes, so he thinks that if he just keeps talking, he's not going to have to say goodbye. So he's talking about vibes and scientific phenomenons and ants and all this stuff. And Mary Jane,
AKA he's title dropping.
And Mary Jane's just like, Peter, I'm going to be late. We need to say our goodbyes here since they won't let you into the gate with me. I was hoping I could just keep talking and talking, and if I was hoping I could just keep talking, and if I kept on talking, I wouldn't have to say any goodbyes. That sounds kind of crazy. And Peter's like, yeah, well, the last time we said goodbye, didn't really go so well. So Mary Jane's like, so we won't say goodbye. See you later, bro.
You didn't say goodbye. She literally left you in like the middle of the night when you were off being Spider-Man. If they're talking about the time her plane went boom, that's what happened.
So Mary Jane goes off to L.A. and Peter's swinging around the city. He's trying to focus on anything that's not Mary Jane. Just trying not to focus on how much he misses her. Mary Jane goes to her audition and basically finds out that the production that she's going to work for is under new management since she talked to them last, and nobody bothered to tell her that the director got replaced, and the director has his own person that he wants to go with instead of her. And so she overhears this conversation and just walks out because she's like, oh, thanks for wasting my time, douche lords. So Peter...
This is the beginning of a great time for Mary Jane when they went, hey, you know what? It's really cool? Kirsten Dunst in the Spider-Man movies. You know how Mary Jane for the longest time was, a model and, an actress? Yeah, let's make her like Kirsten Dunst, where she's just a small-time Broadway performer in the Spider-Man world. Is that cool? Okay. And it makes it a little more realistic. Okay. Immediately as on done, as soon as Brandon Danae happens again, she's back being a supermodel and in summer blockbusters.
So back in New York, Peter's like...
Thanks, Kirsten Dunst.
So back in New York, Peter's watching the clock. He's excited to call Mary Jane at midnight, check in on her, see how she's doing. But in the meantime, before he can do that, he hops on the top of a police car and he's like, "Sup, dudes?" And they're like, "Stakeout." "Cool. Can I help?" "We don't really want your help." "Sweet. I'm just gonna hang out here and just help you guys catch this guy." So they're trying to nab a bicycle thief.
So how about those Giants in the playoffs? Yeah.
Personally,
I think they're going to get eliminated, though. Yeah.
Personally, I'm more of a Jets guy myself.
Oh, thank God I'm from Queens. Because that's how Peter is a Jets fan. So I can see that he goes, saw about those Giants making the playoffs. Actually, we're Jet fans. Oh, thank God I'm a Jets fan, too. The guy was saying, actually, we're Giant fans. We were just hoping just by saying that we're Jet fans, that would shut you up. You guys are dicks. Well... Screw you, Spider-Man. Maybe in a few years we'll put spider tracers all over bodies and blame you for it. Well, maybe you will. And that is how Brand New Day began.
That is the unspoken backstory of Brand New Day. Because
he looked like it. The guy looks like Finn, and the other guy looks like Officer O'Neill. It's them.
Because Spider-Man was a Jets fan. That was what led to Brand New Day.
Spider-Man wanted to small talk to them.
God damn it! If only I wasn't so social. So
actually, it's because he's anti-social, so it's just all small talk, and they're like, "Get this creepy guy away from us."
So Peter calls Mary Jane at midnight, and he's like, "Hey, and she doesn't pick up because she's off, being kind of understandably depressed about being lied to, basically. And so Peter calls her, he's wishing her good luck and everything. And so Peter's Spider...
She wasn't lied to. This is something but she wasn't lied to. This is something that happens in the real world. a new director comes in and he wants his own cast. I mean, that happens a lot of times.
I
It's called
know,
recasting. MJ should know this by now.
I know, but it's like they didn't even bother to tell her at any point, so it's like it seems kind of rude. But so Peter's spider sense goes off when a kid walks by, and he realizes that said kid is the bicycle thief. And so the police officers see this. They go to move to apprehend him, but Peter sees that a gun falls out of the kid's pocket, and Peter's like, "Oh shit, this is about to get really bad." The police officers they approach the kid, and the kid pulls the gun on them. He aims it at them because he's scared. He's scared out of his mind. He doesn't want to get arrested. And Peter's like, "Oh shit, this is about to go down the hole real quick." So Peter webs the gun. He makes sure that the kid can't use it. Kid runs away. Peter tries to follow him. He tells the police officers to stay back because he doesn't want to escalate the situation. He finds the kid on the ledge of a roof and basically talks him out of it. He's like, "Yeah, so I realize that the kids at school bully you and everything, but if you use that gun, you're just going to be even worse than they are, and you're not going to do anyone any good. So why don't you just stop?" And so basically the issue ends with Mary Jane getting some complimentary service at I guess a cafe because the waitress could tell that she was depressed. Peter gets a call, and they talk about their days. Mary Jane lies to Peter actually and says that she turned down the part when the part turned her down. But Peter,
John, that's not what happened.
what?
It's not a waitress feeling bad for her. It's a waiter or a bartender who's trying to get in her pants. That's why he's upset when she says Peter and she goes to get on the phone with her husband.
God damn it. Whatever. Just same thing, all right. But yeah.
Same thing. One is another woman being sympathetic to another woman having a bad day. The other one is some bartender wanting to get in her pants. They are not the same thing, John.
Yes, I know that, James. It's been a rough week in Ohio, all right? I'm frazzled tonight.
It's been a rough week in Ohio. I know. You should tell Nick Lowe about that.
I'm never going to live that down. Every time I do the credits now on any back issue, I'm just going to have to actively...
John, everybody who has ever been on the history of the show, Jan, Jacob, Thomas, I'm going to email them tonight, and I'm going to tell them what you said.
John thought Axel Alonso was Nick Lowe.
And you know it's a big deal when I say Zombie Thomas, hashtag Zombie Thomas is now running 2020.
And so Peter, Mary Jane asks Peter, "Hey, how was your night?" And Peter was like, "Couldn't be better." As you see the kid hugging his father, and they're going to go home. That kid's probably going to be grounded forever, but still, it's good.
That's what John takes out of one of the most emotional endings in Spider-Man history. He takes out, "That kid is so in trouble now. Ooh."
This is the roast of Jonathan Webber. It really is. Is this how the rest of the year's going to be? Shit.
It's just me calling you out on it. Ooh. It's just hilarious. Imagine Spider-Man's on the phone. He's like, "My night went good." The dad's hugging the son, and Spider-Man just going, "He's so grounded." What? I mean, I can't wait till your plane lands. Grounded. Oh. So, how about those Giants? Peter's just really awkward. I'm hanging up on you now. Click.
All right, James, what did you think of this issue?
Awkward Spider-Man. So, how about them Giants?
Well, personally, I more of a Jets fan myself.
I am not a football fan. Personally, I think football is evil. And then Peter's like, "Then you are an asshole," and walks away.
Then you are an asshole.
I know on Family Guy, I say everyone gets one, but if you're ever mugged, I'm not saving your life. I'm going to let Daredevil do that. But I'm going to live in Hell's Kitchen. I don't care. Daredevil's a Jets fan.
But I don't live in Hell's Kitchen, and Daredevil only talks about Hell's Kitchen.
And oh, that's a fun fact because you don't watch football, and neither does Daredevil.
Oh, James, that's awful. That's awful, James. All right.
Oh, I made fun of a fictional character. Oh, I'm the most evilest bastard in the world. I made fun of a cartoon character.
And I thought Axel Alonso was Nick Lowe. All right.
Yeah, I made fun of a cartoon character. You got two completely different people mixed up.
Well, it's not like I know either of them personally. But, ASM 505, I'm going to give my quick thoughts on this issue. Loved it, actually. Really good. This is, in my opinion, one of the best day-in-the-life issues of Spider-Man there has ever been. Really simple plot, a lot of great character work. Peter Parker just being your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. When you think of Spider-Man, this is what you can think of a lot of the time. Helping people out around the neighborhood. As they put it in Captain America Civil War, Peter Parker's just trying to look out for the little guy. Literally, in this sense. It's like Peter Parker just doing what he can to be the neighborhood hero.
I just love how I just love how a petty criminal is having cops staking him out. Like, we're two cops having a stakeout. Oh, what happened? Murderer, drug dealer? No. 10-year-old kid stole the bike.
Yeah, in New York...
It's like, wow, the crime rate really dropped here in New York City. Exactly. Thank you. They look at him.
But, so yeah, it's just a really good day-in-the-life issue. A lot of great character work. A lot of great moments. You know, it's a fun Spider-Man issue. It's really good if you want to get to know the character, if you want to really understand the guy. It's really, really enjoyable. JMS just knocks it out of the park. The Romita Jr. art with the colors and the inks, all of this stuff is really, really good. Really beautiful. I don't think we need to say it, any more than we already have, that JR is one of the best artists in Spider-Man history, and this issue is just another great example of that work. That's really all I can say. It's a really simple issue, really good artwork, really good story. I give it 2 thumbs up. Thank God we talked about this tonight to end the show off. But James, Amazing Spider-Man 505, what did you think of it?
It's what I've been saying anytime we review a JMS Romita issue. It's good. Like you said, it's Spider-Man. It's like when you think Spider-Man, this is very much it. He's not fighting, the Green Goblin or Venom or Spider-Toem shit that JMS did a lot, or Ben Reilly. This is him fighting. Just not even fighting. It's just him stopping a kid from ruining the rest of his life. And, it's this really great, it's like him giving the kid the power and responsibility speech, which I love. That's really nice. And the Mary Jane moments are really good. I like it. And it sets up her story arc that goes on, continuing on to the next arc, and then the arc after this, and then so on and so forth. It's all really done. It's really nicely handled. Not much else I could say, because it's really a short one-off, but it's really short and sweet.
So, James, you give it a thumbs up, I assume?
Yeah, I give it one. Like I said, I like it because it's one-off, but it doesn't continue anything Spider-Man related, because the next arc is the Ezekiel stuff. But for Mary Jane, this continues on to the next issue, how she is at the crossroads, and then both Aunt May and Ezekiel gives her the pep talk to go out for more auditions for Broadway and stuff like that. So it continues the character growth of Mary Jane that JMS has been on since she's been brought back in the book. So I like that.
This is the kind of issue
really solid.
This is the kind of issue I think that if you're a person who's had a hard day at the office or something, you can come home and sit down, read this one, and it's just a feel-good issue. It's one to kind of lift your spirits a bit. I think more than anything, that's what it probably serves as. It's like,
yeah, I mean, it was a happy ending. No cops are dead. Spider-Man, got to help a kid out. Mary Jane, it sucks for her, but if you read on, that better things are literally waiting for her. And she got to talk to her husband and got to vent a little bit, so that's good. It worked out fine for everyone except for the kid, according to John, who was grounded and probably spanked or something like that, according to him.
All right, but
And I bet you, John, did you miss what the name of the kid is? I mean, what the name of the father was? His name was Nick Lowe.
I doubt that very much. But, James, that's going to conclude the review portion of this episode. That's also going to conclude this episode of the podcast. We don't have anything else to talk about. Next week, I think we have Renew Your Vows. I don't know. I'll be honest.
I think so.
I haven't kept up with the schedule.
And to be honest, I haven't kept up with the schedule, but that's mostly because this comic sucked.
James is like, I need Renew Your Vows to help maintain my will to live. That's what James is thinking.
No, actually, my will to live was revived by just reading Batman and Catwoman fucking for 22 pages.
That is a weird sentence. But
because it's not done just to be, oh look, Batman's begging Catwoman, isn't that hot? It's actually done in a really romantic, beautiful way, John. That's why it's artistic.
But
it's all about how they really care about each other, even though they're from two different sides of the law. It's actually really handled well.
But James, any final shout-outs or words for the listeners before we sign off?
Yeah, like I said, I'm reading DC books right now, and a lot of them really good. And if I can have my own corner, I want to talk about the people who are angry at the next DC event being DC superheroes versus Watchmen, which has pretty much been like the plan since Rebirth. Shut up!
Oh, jeez.
The people who are complaining already that by doing... Okay, if you're upset about it because Watchmen shouldn't be touched because it's one of the greatest comic book stories of all time and just doing a continuation of it is just going to cheapen it and ruin it and it's a cash grab, I agree with you. I understand where your point is. I maybe don't agree with you because I like Watchmen. I got it right over here on my desk right here. I got the movie on Blu-ray. You know, I enjoy Watchmen, but I didn't read it when it comes out. I'm not a diehard Watchmen fan. So, but if you are, I can understand if you're angry for that reason. But if you're angry because DC lied to you and about lightening up the universe, and by doing Watchmen, it means they're doing the complete opposite. No, because remember how Rebirth ended with Manhattan, meaning that it was the plan from day one, and also that's the point that it was a meta story. Watchmen, a grim, dark superhero world, literally changed the DC universe to be grim, dark like it. Just like the editors wanted the DC universe to start being dark because Watchmen. It's almost kind of a meta thing. Watchmen universe changed the DC universe to grimdark. And the heroes fighting the Watchmen characters are them getting their lightness back, or they're getting their friendship and their love and all that back, and no longer hating each other guts. I mean, it's kind of hard for you not to say that DC is light again when, like I said, you fucking got Batman joking about Robin with a smile on his face to a Snickers ad. But anyways, that's my little soapbox. So yeah, I'm reading a lot of DC books. They're awesome. Another shout out, Dragon Ball Super is premiering tomorrow night on Toonami. As a Dragon Ball fan, it's adjusted for any other fans. In 2 weeks after that, on the 21st, is Ninja Steel. Oh, I always get burpy whenever I have Chinese food. So yeah, it's Ninja Steel. I hope it's good. I got the toys already. The preview clip happened. Kellen Henderson, if you remember Boom from SPD, he's coming back as a regular in this season, so awesome, he's back. He's coming back, but then again, the Red Ranger, they're reusing the same goddamn plot from Tyler, the whole, I gotta find my missing dad. You know what's pretty bad? When even on Twitter, the actor who played Tyler goes, wow, what's up with missing dads? We really need to get a GPS for them. When he even calls up that you're using the exact same goddamn plot for the new Red Ranger that you used for me, maybe it's time you switch your Red Ranger plot.
And there's also the Power Rangers movie coming out in just a few months' time.
Oh, yeah, that's also coming up. Oh, and also, what just got announced today to the point that I pre-ordered it, the next Super Sentai set, Car Ranger. If you want to see a silly, zany parody of Super Sentai that became Power Rangers Turbo, then please pick up Geki Soda Sentai Car Ranger on DVD coming out this April. I already pre-ordered it.
All right. My shout outs this week: Marvel, Stan Lee, Steve Ditko. Thank you for Spider-Man. Other shout outs. Shout out to my family. Just thank you for a good holiday. Let's see. Other.
Shout out to my family, to my friends, and the women I met.
I knew that was coming. That was why I stayed silent. I knew that was coming.
What? What? What did I do that was so wrong, John? I wouldn't call me. It's not like I did anything disgusting. Or what? Now you think it's wrong for a guy to go call me?
No, I'm just laughing, James. Other shout-outs. The Supergirl show, even though that's not back from its break yet, that's coming up. That's coming up in a few weeks. So I'm really excited for that. Even though Kevin Smith's directing the first episode back, and I can't take Kevin Smith seriously no matter how hard I try.
Well, I'm sure it could be good.
No, I'm not.
Wait, what's the name of the? Wait a second. You know, Kevin Smith nearly wrote a Superman movie, right?
Yeah.
Called Superman Lives.
Yeah, and you know what his episode title is? Supergirl Lives.
Oh God, don't tell me.
Supergirl Lives.
Are they literally just going to do the plot of the movie as like an hour TV show?
I'm not sure, but there's a red.
Because if they do, I'll watch it because I always wanted to watch that Tim Burton, Kevin Smith Superman movie if it ever got made.
But there is going to be a red sun in the plot of the episode, a red sun. So.
Alright, whatever. You know, like seriously, if there was like a way to like open up a portal to another dimension, I would take a DVD copy of Superman Lives. Like, cause it's one of those movies that it's always like the comic movies where it's like, I'm always fascinated, especially with comic books, the movies that don't get made in their scripts. Like the James Cameron Spider-Man and Superman Lives and Batman Triumphant and all those stuff. And the Tom Cruise's Iron Man movie that referenced Spider-Man.
I never heard of
They
it.
were going to reveal that they were going to, in the original script, back before Rod shot it down, there was going to be a reference to the fact when Tony Stark is going through designs, you see the Dr. Octopus's legs from Spider-Man 2. And it says Oscorp, and it said transferred over to Stark Industries, and it's the blueprints for the Ock arms. But our Rod said, no. There's no connection between movie universes because of movie rights. But it's a little Easter egg that fans will like. No. Take it out of your script.
But, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that coming back. And, yeah, that's about it. So, thank you all for tuning in. This is our first show of 2017. We got one down and however many left to go for this year. But thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week, and have a good night.